there's so many medicines. They got this prescription stuff that they advertise on TV, and I swear half the time the side effects are 50 times worse than what the medicine cures.
Kids, what time is it?
Welcome to the Howdy Boomy Show. Another gorgeous day in July here in the Buffalo, New York area. I hope weather is comparable in your area. I hope it isn't too hot. I hope it is not pouring rain. I hope you have a chance to recoup from the floods that's going on around the country. I hope you have a chance to stay cool. Mother Nature is something to behold, and you can't mess with it, and I don't think I can control it. Comparable to what Congress is telling me, comparable to what John Kerry is telling me, but they're in fantasy land. They're taking our money, and they're laughing at us. I don't know if you remember who Jordan Belfort was. He, the movie The Wolf of Wall Street was based on his life. You have to understand something. If you're a salesman, if you're a stockbroker, you have to pass an exam because you have to know what you're talking about, and theoretically you have to know what the laws are. But you're a salesman. You're trying to convince someone to buy your product, in this case, invest his money. Go down to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and it's the same as if you were going to your local market, but instead of selling bananas and apples, you're selling stocks and bonds. You're a salesman, and you have to gain the confidence of the people that you're trying to sell, and hopefully that they'll invest with you. Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, perfected a sales pitch for his people to use. They didn't have to be sophisticated. They weren't sophisticated. They were hungry, and he made them fortunes. And the Wolf of Wall Street is based on his story, how illegitimate drugs, trades, scams, whatever he did it all. It was a very, very entertaining film starring Leonardo DiCaprio. But Jordan Belfort was a drug addict in addition to alcohol and everything else that he had. And he made an interesting comment on the cocaine found at the White House, which the Secret Service, I am sure, knows who it belongs to. He said, it's someone there who's there a lot, because what cocaine addicts do is when they're at home or in a premises that they attend a lot of functions at or are there quite a bit, they stash cocaine in various spots so they can take a snort every once in a while. And who's there a lot? And who is a cocaine addict? And then it's Hunter Biden. So he figures it's Hunter Biden's. They know it's Hunter Biden's. That's why it's hush-hush. But it's an interesting take on a former addict. I never even knew that. I never even knew that's what they do. But he's convinced that it's Hunter's cocaine, and I would think a lot of Americans are not shocked to hear that. It's just that it's shocking to hear that in the most secure premises on the face of the planet, they have no idea what's going on, which I think is a big cover-up. I think the Secret Service now has been co-opted, just like the FBI, the Department of Justice. They're part of the family of Biden's corrupt and illegal happenings. And today on the congressional hearings, you're going to have the whistleblower. A second whistleblower is coming forth with facts. And the Democratic people on the committee from in which he is going to make an appearance are going to try to destroy him. Forget the facts. They're just going to try to destroy him with Democratic talking points, Biden talking points, because that's what they're trained to do. They do not want the truth. So drip by drip, drab by drab, a little bit is coming out. And I think it's the Department of Justice is blocking everything that these people are doing to try to get to the truth, because they know they're in on it. And they want people to forget it. And it's sort of like the little boy who cried wolf. You cry wolf so often and people begin to say, forget it, there's no wolf. But when the wolf finally comes, they're shocked. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Dribs and drabs of the Hunter Biden, the Biden family crime syndicate are coming out. We're finding how the Department of Justice is co-opted. Merrick Garland is going after Trump in record speed. They're finding indictments left, right. They're going through procedures left, right, hastily. I mean, it's amazing how fast this is going. And yet for Hunter Biden, it takes 6 years to get something on the books where they're actually going to charge him with something that's a slap on the wrist compared to what he actually did and compared to what if another human being on the face of the planet whose name wasn't Biden did, he'd be behind bars for a long, long time. So it's just a sad situation where it's dribs and drabs coming out. It's like the little boy who cried wolf, you're going to get sick of it, but sooner or later, there's going to be a media outlet other than Fox News that's going to say, hey, wait a minute, we've got something here. We're being co-opted by a corrupt individual, by a corrupt family. One congressman came out and he said, according to the hearings that he's gotten privileged to be within, the Biden family has garnered over $100 million in illegal contributions, illegal payouts. I mean, that's a stunning number. I don't know how he's going to back that up, but it doesn't surprise me because they've been in business as long as Joe Biden has been in Congress, which is 40 years, 50 years. And you take a look at the people that know Joe Biden, Barack Obama, his vice president. Barack Obama himself said privately to other people there, he's never amazed how Joe Biden could fuck something up. And that's what it is. Joe Biden's not the smartest guy on the face of the planet. He's in Delaware, small town, small initial state, gained power, and now people owe him. It's not that he's intelligent. It's not that he created something that nobody else had. He just got elected, and he's using that to peddle his influence. And after 40 years, you have a lot of influence, and he co-opted the FBI, the Secret Service, the CIA, the Department of Justice. It's a sad situation, but he's surrounding his family and his 16 corporations. Imagine that. What do they do? You have to ask him, what do your corporations do? It's for funneling money from one to another. That's what common sense tells you, but nobody's going to admit it. And then you wonder if you're the editor of the New York Times or the Chicago Tribune or the Los Angeles Times. How do you justify not asking hard questions? And when a Democratic congressman try to smear these whistleblowers, I wish, like I said the other day, that the whistleblower would turn back to them and said, forget your question, sir or ma'am. Let's go down to your district. I will put my findings there and let your constituents ask me the questions. See if there's one Democratic congressperson that takes him up on it. They won't, but it'll shut him up. It will shut the congressman up. Somebody has to have the balls to say that. It's make-believe. All this is make-believe. The government is just one big fantasy land, and they're taking us for granted. And it's really sad to see because we're struggling here. $3.65 for a gallon of gas. That's supposed to be normal? Unemployment. Hard to find a job that's decent. Hard to get your kids to go to a school that's not trying to teach them how to change gender, sex. Are you a boy or are you a girl? What do you feel like today? Which bathroom would you like to use? That has got to be stopped. How do we do it? We vote. Make sure you go out and vote. Every election, vote. Vote your conscience. Vote that we want to make this country great again. The Constitution, our forefathers, this is the greatest country in the world. Go and vote and preserve it. Get rid of this woke technology, woke philosophy. Go back to common sense. There was a columnist, L.M. Boyd, that had a column in a local newspaper. And he wrote, this is years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, he wrote down that all across this country there are millions of laws, federal, state, and local, on the books to enforce the 10 Commandments. Think about that. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Again, vote. This is the greatest country in the world. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.